Welcome in. I'm glad you found it. That secluded spot in the dark recesses of the garden. I am Garden Gnome. I hate to say it, folks, but I've been talking about it for a while now. I think we're headed for... Do I say it? Should I say it? I don't know. Maybe. Civil War! There's a little Tim Pool for you. Now we'll talk about some of the crazy stuff that's been going on since the last time I was here. Just seems like the world's gone crazy for a little bit. I guess probably the biggest thing that's going on here in the States is Minnesota. I mean, that place is crazy. They riots and people beating up ICE agents and ICE agents beating up people and lots of fraud found in Minnesota. Looks like several other states as well. Man, I don't know. It's some wild stuff. Are they right? I think the ICE agents are supposed to do their jobs, go in, get the people that are not supposed to be here, and have, escort them out of the country. Then you've got a bunch of misguided people who have been told that they're the bad guys. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure what to think all about it. But I think it all boils down to, who are your elected officials? Are you paying attention to those people? Do you know what they stand for? The biggest thing to do is pay attention to your local elections, not all the big ones, but for sure the local ones. I don't know I'm not sure where to start, honestly. I mean, like I said, I think the governor and the mayor there in Minneapolis and in Minnesota are just not helping matters out at all. They seem to be trying to do everything they can to make things harder on the ICE agents that are supposed to be doing their jobs. I think it's because they know as long as they keep things stirred up, they're not going to get in trouble for all of the shenanigans they pulled with helping people steal billions of dollars from the U.S. taxpayers. I think that's a lot of your problem there. But I don't know. Now the question is, okay, we've got all this fraud. But what are they going to do about it? Are they actually going to see any actual justice? Are the taxpayers really going to get anything back out of it? I mean, that money's gone. There's real no way to recoup it. If it's gone out of the country, I don't see any way for us to get that money back. But at least we should hold the people who are involved accountable. But we shall see. They talk a big game. The federal government's talking big game right now about, we're going to indict, Tim Walz, and we're going to invite the mayor of Minnesota, Minneapolis, and anybody else that was connected with it. We're going to indict them and hold them accountable. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think as an individual who lives in the United States, I would want to see something happen. I would want to see them held to account, them and anybody else that was involved held to account. for these things. Now, will we see it? Who knows? And I don't know that it's as big. I don't know that the rioting and protesting for the ICE stuff is as widespread as we're led to believe. Some people say that it's just a small group, but it's getting a lot of attention and a lot of flack. But people are getting hurt and people have gotten killed. And some of that is, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I'm sorry, you go against federal law enforcement and you're going to get yourself hurt or killed. That's just kind of the way it works. I've heard other people say, when I was growing up, my parents told me, if you get pulled over, you mind your P's and Q's, keep your hands where they can see them, make sure that you don't do anything stupid to get yourself in further trouble. Because a lot of times, they'll either write you a ticket, they may even just give you a warning depending on the circumstances. I know I've heard some officers say that they really would rather not have to deal with the paperwork. If you're nice to them and don't be a jerk, they're willing. A lot of times they're willing to work with you. Now, that being said, like I said, a lot of the problems that we're seeing right now, as far as the Minnesota and Minneapolis stuff, is your elected officials. You've really got to pay attention to who you're voting for. I'll say it again. It matters. I try to pay attention to who's involved in my local elections. Do I always pick the right person? No. But if I figure out they're not the right one, I won't vote for them again. And I think, it's up to us as normal people that, if you're so inclined, run for office. Be another option besides just the incumbents. Now, I don't know. It's a lot of craziness going on, and I think a lot of that is intentionally to distract us from other things going on, or to get us stirred up and get us all in a panic state, fight or flight. There's only so much you can pay attention to. We don't have control over a lot of things when it comes to normal life. I think the biggest things we need to pay attention to are our families, taking care of our families, our jobs, living day to day. Don't get spun up and strung out on all of the stuff that's going on. It's easy to do. I mean, you can sit there and watch that stuff 24/7 and get yourself just worked up, get your blood pressure up. Lots of anxiety and stress in your life that you don't really need. But it is important to stay up to date on things and how things are going. But definitely try not to spend a whole lot of time paying attention to it, because a lot of times there's just not a lot you can do to really make a difference in it. You've got a bunch of misguided people who, especially the rioters, the ones that are getting paid, well, they're getting paid. There's, how do you fix that? I don't know. I don't have any good options. But the other people that are misguided, that are getting drawn into these things, I think they don't have guidance in their life, and they don't have things that they can, I wouldn't say necessarily, something like religion, but they don't have a higher aspiration, I don't think. You got to have some direction in your life. I'm not saying that you have to be religious, but at least have a good perspective on what are important, what's the important things in life, and what lost my thought. Mainly just you need a guiding principle in your life of some kind, other than, everybody sucks, world sucks, I'm just gonna get mine. Or you have no direction in life, and then somebody comes along and tells you, oh, well, if you come fight for this cause, then your life will be so much better, when really they're probably using you to get to the ends to justify the means of what they want. So really, definitely take care of your family, your loved ones, and try not to focus on all that negative stuff that's going on. I mean, yeah, it makes headlines and it makes big splashes, but really, you just gotta live your life and pay attention to the things that are important. If you're one of those people that live there, I'm sorry, but you need to try to vote better, try to find better people to represent you. It's not always easy. But again, if you don't think they're doing a good job, vote them out and find somebody else better. Changing subjects, people voting out and making their voices heard. That brings to mind the people in Syria. And I hope that if they truly are trying to overthrow their regime and make things better for themselves, then I hope so. That'd be great. It's been a long time coming, and unfortunately, the United States had a hand in kind of putting them where they are currently. So I hope we do reach out a little bit and help them make things better for their country in the long term. I do have one other funny story for you guys. Did anybody hear about the snail heist? Well, apparently somewhere in Cologne, France, half a ton of snails were stolen from a farm. Now, it's worth over $100,000 worth of snails. I'm not a snail person myself, but if you like snails, great. Although I might try them at some point if somebody offered it up, but they'd have to cook it well for me. But could you imagine somebody stealing snails? That's crazy, isn't it? I don't know what to think about that. Excuse me. But that's definitely a wild one. I would not imagine you stealing snails. I guess that'd be like stealing chickens or fish or something, I guess. But I thought that was funny. Stealing snails. All right. Well, if you like this and want me to continue doing more, please like, share, subscribe. Do all the fun YouTube things. I would appreciate it. Definitely leave comments if you get a chance. Trying things out. Hopefully, I made some improvements to the audio. But definitely leave me some comments. And as always, watch your ankles and the frozen balls from space. We'll see you next time, folks. Bye.